All right, everybody. The next activity in this geography course is number 5, regions. First, let's start with a joke. How does a lion like his meat cooked? Any guesses? Roar. Get it? Sounds like rare. Okay. Our learning goal is this. We are learning to identify and describe the physical and human characteristics of a region in Japan or Canada. This is your AWL, region, area, similar, cultural, and overlap. You can find those words written in pink all here. So please use them and add them to your AWL list. Okay, there will be a quiz. So the first part of this activity is to download the Dreamland story. You're going to read that. And as you read it, you're going to identify the characteristics of each region and write them on this table. So you need to download that. After you're finished doing that, you go ahead and label the regions on this map. Okay? Use the clues from the text to tell you where each region is. All right? So please write the regions from the story onto this map. After you're finished doing that, I'd like you to read through this, okay, using your AWL words in here, okay. Then you can look at Canada's regions, and you can look at Japan's regions. When that's finished, we're going to download this worksheet called the Worksheet Regions Table. And the class is going to do a jigsaw activity, which means we're going to kind of share the work and learn about the regions of Japan. We're only going to do Japan this time, okay? So here's a bunch of information about all the regions of Japan. All right, these are all the regions here. And so the reading contains information about each of those. And you're going to add that information to this table, okay? So let's go back up to the beginning and go through this in a little more detail. So you're going to download this. The Dreamland story, it looks like this. Okay? Read through this or listen to it. I will record it separately. Okay? And then write your answers for information onto this chart. Okay? Each of the regions for Gak, Ilikvad, Selafaith, Hilnith, Kiran, Uathan, and Parg in the Dreamland story are listed here. Okay? So the Dreamland story, you see Gak. Okay? And then as you go down, you see Ilikvad. So this is a paragraph about each of those regions. Okay? Each paragraph has information about each of these regions, and you need to find vegetation, examples of vegetation, or plants, animals. Sorry, not animals, plants. Okay? Animals is wildlife, so you need to find examples of wildlife from the reading. Okay? In this section on Gak, for example, and add them to your list. Then look for information about the climate in Gak and write it in here. Look for information about the landforms of Gak and write them in here. If you don't know what landforms means, then just do a quick Google search and check for images of landforms and you'll see many. Human activities means things human beings are doing, okay? So look for examples of things human beings are doing in each paragraph for each region and write them down in this chart. Last, what language do the Gak people speak? And what kind of costumes do they wear? What kinds of things do they believe? This is cultural information, okay? And language information. Write that down if you can find it inside from this paragraph, or this, because this one's about from Gak, right? Use that information to find examples of those. All right? So for each of these, for each region, we're going to have a whole bunch of information. You have to find that information by reading this. Okay? All the information is written in here. You just have to pull it out and stick it in here. Okay, insert it in here, write it in here. We're going to do it in small groups or pairs or individuals. So each person's going to just do one, or each pair is just going to do one. All right? So it makes it a little bit less time consuming. All right? So then after you've done all that table, then go ahead and find each region and put it on this map. Okay? All right. What is a region anyways? Well, it says right here. A region is an area with some characteristics that make it similar or different from other areas. So basically, a region is an area. Okay? So look at all these regions. Hokkaido, Tohoku, Kanto, Chubu, etc. Okay? Those are regions of Japan, and here's regions of Canada: Quebec, Ontario, Atlantic Canada, the West, the North, British Columbia. All right? So these are just areas. Learning about regions helps us understand the physical and cultural characteristics and what makes places similar or different. There are urban regions like cities, rural regions like the countryside, and wilderness regions, nature. Regions have boundaries or borders. Okay, you can see these borders here. See that line there? And this one here? Okay, these are borders. And there's another one here, another one here. And go up to Canada, there's a border here, a boundary here, right? And this yellow one and this orange one, the blue one here. Okay, these are called borders or boundaries. Okay, it's the same as on a basketball court. The outside lines of a basketball court are the boundaries of the basketball court. Okay, regions have boundaries or borders, but some characteristics overlap. In Japan, an example would be Hokkaido. Hokkaido is different than the rest of Japan because it is a northern island with a lot of snow, a lot of nature, and few people compared to other regions of Japan. Tokyo, Japan, and Detroit, USA are both automobile regions, a similarity. However, Tokyo is mostly Shinto and Detroit is mostly Christian. This human characteristic is different. When we consider characteristics of regions, we include climate, vegetation, wildlife, landforms, and human activities like farming, fishing, manufacturing, and tourism. Okay, so you saw that up here on this table, right? Those characteristics of a region are all here. Okay? Called regional characteristics. So, yeah, some regions have similarities. Like there's really not much difference between parts of Kanto and Chubu or parts of Kinki and Chubu. Okay? But there's a large difference between Hokkaido and, say, Okinawa. So not only do we have these lines, but sometimes the lines don't mean anything because they're basically the same, characteristics are the same. Okay? Sometimes they're very different though. Okay, so go back and complete the AWL words for this unit. Write your learning goal down in your learning goals chart. And then begin the Dreamland story and the Dreamland's regional characteristics activity. When you're finished with that, you go down here, do this reading on the regions of Japan. And again, I'm going to separate you into pairs so that we're sharing the work here. Okay? Find that information, then put information from that reading onto this table here. Okay, just for Japan. What vegetation about Hokkaido can you find? Wildlife, climate, landforms, human activities for Hokkaido. Okay, so again, you're going to pull that information out of here about Hokkaido. Okay? Include that information on this table.